This is Song Waffles. We waffle on for just as long as it takes to drink 2 beers. Song Waffles with City over Sand. G'day and welcome to episode 7 of Song Waffles with City over Sand. 7 episodes, DC.
I can't believe you remembered it was the 7th episode.
No, I had to go back and have a look. It has been a while. I think the last one we did was on Good Friday.
Was it really?
Yeah. It's a few months have passed since then.
Just the two of you.
You and I.
Yeah.
We should note, I don't think we always mention this, but we are coming to you from Blind Boy Studios.
We are.
On the Gold Coast.
Way to represent.
In
Got to keep
Queensland.
the sponsors happy.
In Australia.
Good.
Hence the Ocker accents.
Yeah. All right. So you will notice that we have picked up a stray along the way today. So please welcome Benny Crawford, BC.
How's it going?
Thanks, mate. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I've been waiting for the call up.
Yeah.
With bated breath in the wings, ready to go.
Ben's been begging us for months to come on the show.
Yeah.
Well, JK is having wedding celebrant meetings. So the young man is about to get married.
Finally.
2 weeks' time or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Third time lucky for Jules.
That's it. And Dubs is over in New Zealand, so lucky bugger. So we brought in Benno, and he's been keen to come and say g'day. So Benny, he's been involved in the City over Sand world for quite some time, right, Benny?
Yeah, I guess I think of myself as like maybe the Pete Best of City over Sand, like in the embryonic stages, and as soon as you guys got good, I wasn't part of it anymore.
Benny,
And maybe that's why the upgrade
Benny is
happened.
no stranger. In fact, I think it was probably Benny that introduced me to you, Brad.
Correct.
Yeah, probably partially responsible for 2 of the Gold Coast music scene's highest featured artists / luminaries.
So Benny
Come to know each other.
So it's Ben's
Producer of the year. We should probably throw that in.
Of course.
That's got to get around.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a round of applause for that, bro.
Not only was he on the voting panel, but he also won it. There you go.
Thank you.
Brad won the
Scott
Producer of
Murphy.
the Year at the Gold Coast Music Awards a couple of weeks ago. Very prestigious. Congratulations, Brad.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the first one. First one that's 2022. First time I've had studio producers, so nice to pick that one up.
Inaugural. The inaugural Brad Hosking. That's what we'll call him from now on.
But Benny, you've been in the band, you've played in the band, you've recorded the band.
Yeah.
Give us the abridged version of the Benny Crawford story.
I guess I was fortunate back when I was a student a million years ago to, I think we had some mutual friends, and Dan over here had a few songs that needed some, acoustic recordings done, and I had an assignment that needed some acoustic recordings done, so match made in heaven, did that, and then we went, you know what, some of these songs are pretty good, maybe we should do more than just acoustic recordings, and I knew a fresh-faced young keyboard wizard from the Ville.
Had to pull him out from the uni bar.
That's
no doubt.
it. Drag him by the Mud Simpson necklace into the studio, and
Can you send Brad up, please?
the old Technics keyboard, and lace them down, and pretty soon we had, I guess, an EP, and here we are. So
7-track or 8-track?
well, it depends who you ask. That was too soon.
I'm going to say that was the mid. It's a fair while ago. It was mid 2000s.
Yeah, that was
maybe even earlier.
Oh yeah, I reckon your album would have been 2003, the first one, and then the later one maybe 2004, something like that. So that was a long time. Probably half of these people weren't even born yet.
No doubt.
No doubt. I would say
There are many tens of them.
Yes, literally. And got to play with you boys for a while until you massively upgraded to Stevie, and now I just hang out when those 2 boys aren't available and stick my head in the frame. So here we are.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Great.
Nice.
Well, thanks for being here, Benno.
Oh, my pleasure. I heard there's beers, so
Yeah, that's it. So I suppose it's time to get to Drop of the Week.
It's time for the Drop of the Week.
There you go, Benno.
thank you, sir. Ooh.
DC. All right, so this week we're driving this Czech premium lager called the Kozel or Kurzel, or I think Koz means goat or something in Czech Republic.
I'm going to need you to say the top word for us, Brad.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one, but yeah, quite a delicious beer, 500 ml. So we have been having the old 330 cans. Now we're rocking the 500 500 millers. And as the jingle goes at the start, we waffle on about songs for the time it takes to drink 2 beers. So I don't know if we're going to get through a litre of beer each tonight. Maybe we will.
I reckon you will.
Now, is it true, Brad, that
Cheers.
these beers have mysteriously appeared after you put the call out in one of our previous episodes?
Correct. Well, yeah, these came mysteriously to my door one day, and I didn't think they were for me. I thought they were someone from next door or something that they didn't get, and I was just like, oh, I might keep these for a little while, and I didn't even read the label. But yeah, an ex-student of mine, Adrian Austin, thanks so much for these, mate. He I think I did something for APRA, did like an online masterclass for APRA, and he was watching it, and yeah, he's just like, here you go into the Czech Republic on tour with Amy Shark, and I was like, well, actually, that's not happening anymore, but yeah.
Did he pass? Did he pass the course?
He
does now.
He was actually to mine too. Good bloke. Good people, Adrian.
Yeah. Legend of a bloke, and even more of a legend for giving us some beautiful beers, so thanks so much. But yeah,
thanks, buddy.
What do you reckon?
Mate,
it's delicious.
Yeah. Not mad at that. Have to plan a trip to Czech.
You been?
No, not yet.
You been?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's a great place. You go anywhere in Czech Republic and you just go, I want a beer, and they just bring you
Have you
delicious beers.
performed there, Brad?
I don't think
Not
I've performed there. Been there a couple of times. I don't think we've played shows in the Czech Republic, but I went there on my honeymoon.
Okay.
Ah.
And one other time.
Back to my previous statement. I'll tell you what, maybe that should be the first destination for the International City Over Sand tour, boys.
Maybe.
Start the Czech and work your way down from that.
If this keeps happening,
I reckon.
well, you could definitely get used to it. So we're going to move on to listener questions is the next segment. But we thought instead of getting an actual listener to write in, we'd just get a listener to do it live.
Well, I am a listener, so I've got a question. When are you boys going to put some new music out? That's a pretty fair question, I reckon.
Well, Benny, we have been flat out this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've realised, but we have actually released 3 tracks in 2022.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it just so happens that we have landed on a date, the 28th of October. We'll be releasing the rest of the EP.
Mm-hmm.
The EP will be called Half Full. So there's 2 extra songs coming out. So yeah, 28th of October, Friday the 28th.
Is it like an emo follow-up called Half Empty or something like that?
Perhaps,
Grow your fringe back in, sing like Fall Out Boy or something? No?
We'll see how that goes. But we did have grand plans for another side of that one, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, 28th of October, Half Full. So we got 2 extra tracks coming in, and I suppose we're going to waffle on for a little bit about one of those tracks, and that track, which is, I suppose, is the next single, which we're going to push, is a song called Green Light. So tell us about Green Light, DC.
Green Light was the first track that we finished, I think.
It was, yeah, the very first.
Coming off this EP. So we were going to put it out first, weren't we? But I don't know why we didn't. But yeah, it's a great song. I can't even remember what it's about, to be honest.
I can tell you, because I felt equally personally attacked when that was the song you said you were going to talk about tonight, but equally grateful to be here for such a tune, because I think it starts with "You Got Old."
All of a sudden.
So I thought, well, I'll take that to heart, and I'm coming anyway.
But that's why I'm wearing the hat, actually. As you can see, oh, look at that, it's Snow White.
Dan looks the same as 2004, by the way. He's killing us over here.
He's a vampire.
Yeah, that's it. Pharrell Carroll.
No, it's a great song to play live, and Brad did an excellent job of producing the song. Had very few changes, I think, from the original mix that came back.
Face Melting Solo makes an appearance in there.
It's DC.
I wanted to bring that out because I've got a few too many notes in there for Brad. He got a little carried away at the end. I'm like, hang on.
I think it only took me 26 takes.
There you go. Good stuff.
But yeah, so it's Green Light. It's one of the 5 tracks that will sit on Half Full, 28th of October. Available on all streaming platforms.
Some great performances by Stevie Dubs on that one too, and JK. Some really meaty drums on this one.
I think the bass is like almost the hook. It's beautiful. It's great spot. So
yeah, real melodic lines that we come to expect from our one Stevie W.
Oh yeah.
When you have that many strings, you should really be able to write something good.
Although that one I think was done on a 5-string.
That's by my standard, that's still a lot of strings. So.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, this is an interesting track for us as well because both Ben and I we lecture music production and songwriting and stuff at a university, and I gave this song to my third-year advanced level production students to do a mix of it. So basically take off all the processing and null it all, put it in the middle, give them stems, and then they come to mix it.
So like a techno version?
Remix.
No, they've got to do it to whatever what they feel, research the artist and all that kind of stuff. And actually a lot of them researched the artistry by finding our playlist that we did on a couple of episodes ago and listen to the music on that to find out what we listen to and we're into and stuff. But so there's a whole research element to it, and then they went away and then they did their own mixes, and there was a couple of really, really cool ones. Love to play them all, but yeah, I'm just going to play you some snippets of a couple of them. So let's have a look here. So first one is from a guy called Matt Gray. Amazing producer, musician, all-around legend on the Gold Coast. Certainly going places, that bloke. But
It's Matt Gray. Matty made it.
It is.
Matty made it if you want to find him on.
Matty did make it.
But yeah, I'm just going to jump to 1 minute 20. Some new things that Dan wouldn't have heard before. Actually, that's not Matty's, that's Angus's. But anyway, Angus had some great stuff too. I'm going to jump to 2 minutes and 9 seconds. What I really liked about Angus is his mix was actually really close to mine.
I was thinking, I was wondering if you hit the wrong button.
Is the guitar solo up?
If it's Angus, it probably was.
But he mixes the guitars really well. The drum balance was excellent. But he also did some cool things. I'm just going to jump to 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Yeah, some really, really cool things that he's done there.
He does that well.
Yeah, really interesting parts. That middle section after the bridge was like a real part that they could choose to do something. And they've done some really cool things.
Mad keen for a flange, old Angus.
Yeah. And this is Matt. So let's just jump to 120. Matt's also a multi-instrumentalist as well, which might come through here. Run towards the sunrise, run home to me. You had your chance and you missed it. So he had a whole background of what he thought the song was about and all that kind of stuff, and talking about childhood, and you had your chance to missed it. So kids laughing and Foley and stuff in the background, which is really, really smart.
That's cool. I was thinking it reminded me a bit of the Boss, a little bit of Bruce in there, with some of your guitar parts especially, and then that little saxy bit at the end there, a bit of E Street in there about that. Wait for the green light, don't wait and see. Run towards the sunrise, run. Open doors, close, surely.
Yeah, so I wish I gave this task before we actually released it, so we could credit these guys on some great ideas. But so well done, Matt and Angus.
Now,
Matt Gray, Matty Made It, Angus Holmes. Look them up. Great producers. Doing
I
some
look
great
forward
things
to.
themselves.
Can you let me listen to those in the pillows?
Definitely, I'll give you all of them. Yeah,
hey, are you going to buy a slide, or are you just going to give him these ones?
that's Well,
Yes.
I normally use a water bottle or a beer or a,
No Mount Franklin for that. Solid.
one of the reusable metal ones. Yeah,
You're so sustainable.
that's right. All right, great. Well, I think it's time to move on to the next segment. It's let's play the jingle.
JK's Multi of the Week.
All right,
That needs a solo.
but instead of JK, we've got a celebrity in this week for the multi of the week because JK's not here. So this is BC's multi of the week. So
Let's
what do
see
you
what
got for us, BC?
Not brought to you by any sporting affiliation in particular. Now, it's an obvious one this week would be the AFL Grand Final. I couldn't bring myself to do it because as a Hawthorn fan, it's anyone but Geelong. And I kind of think they're probably going to win, but I really hope they don't. So
I'm with you, Benny.
couldn't bring myself to
you, Ben.
place a losing bet and lose tens of fans any money on it, but also just couldn't back myself to back anything Geelong-based. So skip the AFL Grand Final. And then there's the obvious, the NRL semi-finals. And as you guys probably know, Townsville Brad, big Cowboy fan. Didn't really want to pick them head-to-head because I'm not real sure they're going to get the job done, but I do think it's going to be a high-scoring match. So I've got the overs, over 42.5.
Where's it being played?
It's in the Ville. It's going to be dry, Brad, the local knowledge. Dry track.
I believe it's going to be dry and hot and really humid, which is going
But late night, like 8 o'clock kickoff-ish.
Yeah, 10 to 8, yeah.
That's prime conditions for points.
Yeah.
Bit of dew? No dew?
It'll be sloppy hot.
I should have asked him this before I put the bet on, but no. Neither team loves to defend. Both teams love scoring points. So I've got the Cowboys Eels game going over 42 points. Then the other game, Penny Panthers versus the Rabbits. Panthers red hot favourites for a good reason. I like Liam Martin, the rampaging back rower on the outside, as anytime try scorer. That's going to go at almost 5-1, so we'll add him in. And then for some cheeky multipliers, my young fella's a mad soccer fan, so I've got Belgium and France paying short odds, just a little bit of an odds boost. So that'll pay you about 16-1 if you want to get on those.
16-1.
It's not bad for two pretty sure legs, and as long as it doesn't, cyclone in Townsville or anything. Just need Liam Martin across the paint. I think he's a better chance of scoring a goal than old Coxie was in that last 40 game you bet on, Brad. So
that's it. Well, you got big shoes to fill because the last bet from JK's multi of the week, which was BH's multi of the week, actually got up. So if you can remember back to Good Friday or whenever we did that, told everybody to get on Gujarat, put a pineapple on Gujarat. That would have given you $275 in the account. $550.
Nice.
Which is not bad for a one-off.
Sneaky pineapple.
Yeah. So I suppose we've got $275 in our account at the moment. So
be 225.
Maybe we should actually put our money where our mouth is and actually start betting on this and having our own.
Don't start this week. Just put it on France and that's it. $1.30.
All right. Well, thanks for the celebrity multi of the week, Benny.
My pleasure.
Let's we'll give you the credentials to the socials and we can ride that one all weekend.
Okay.
How is our TikTok ticking along?
That's a good question, mate. I haven't been on there for a little while. But funny you should mention it. Let's move on to the next segment. What have we been listening to this week? And speaking of TikTok, I actually found
Your Keisha record? No.
The artist that I'm going to speak about, I found her on TikTok and I'm kind of just infatuated by her. She's an amazing musician, someone that probably has the most control over her instrument, her voice, than I've heard it from someone in a very, very long time. I believe she's Irish singer. Her name's Sammy Coyle. Unbelievable singer. She's got just brought out EP. Great EP, some just beautiful songwriting and great singing. But yeah, the thing that caught my eye was, I've been following her for a little while, but she's just recently put up a cover of Joni Mitchell's Both Sides now, and it is just exquisite.
Right.
Just nylon string, straight to iPhone, and just unbelievable. But yeah, so Sammy Coyle, so check her out if you get a chance.
So where is she from?
I think she's Irish.
Okay.
But yeah, amazing singer, performer, feels everything she says and sings. And
All I've seen
great.
on TikTok so far is people squeezing zits and the pizza guy. Do you want to go?
Are you sure it was TikTok?
Or aside?
Oh,
Is that
Seen that guy?
yeah, I've seen that.
Oh,
Guy.
right. Different
Every time
pizza
I-
videos
it's
from
the
the
same
ones you
guy
usually
every
watch. When no one's got any money. Yes. What about you, DC? What have you been listening to?
Okay, I've got a couple this week. And I think I mentioned this to you the other day. I saw, actually, I think it might have actually been TikTok. Lead singer of a very famous act from the early 90s
Is it Creed?
was... Yeah, you ruined it.
Sorry.
Damn it.
Scott Stapp solo album.
I saw him and I didn't recognise him because he's obviously 30 odd years older and he doesn't have his hair and blah blah blah. But he was talking about the record that they made, and it was a very, very big record. It came out in about 93.
You're going to have a guess. Who do you reckon?
And-
Yeah.
So it came out and he was talking about how hard it was to record the album and the tensions in the band, but they were coming out of big hair metal, full on into the grunge scene at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And this record was the challenge for them was paring it all back, so stripping out the drum kit.
Mm-hmm.
The guitarists had the big amps and
Yep.
quads, and they just pulled it all out and stripped it all back, and that created some issues apparently. But the record is August and Everything After by the Counting Crows.
There you go.
And seeing that guy talk about it, and it was one of the biggest records I can remember as a teenager,
Yeah.
cutting through.
I could hear a bit of
The
that in your
grungy-
music, I reckon, DC.
Can you?
A bit of influence. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
And I've been listening to it this week. I listened to the whole album, except Mr. Jones, because I can't listen to that anymore. But any track off that album, it's pristine. Like the space. I love the snare sound. You can hear the ringing on the ride cymbal and
Band records.
it's every track. It's a pristine record and it still stands up today.
some great
for me,
sounding
30
albums.
days,
Yeah.
30 years later. So get onto it.
Nice.
The other one is a new one, and it was recommended to me by George Carpenter.
Oh yeah.
Know
George.
Yeah.
Nothing like a recommendation from George.
So I bumped into George in the street, and he recommended this band. They're from the States. They're an indie kind of rock band, and they're called Pine Grove. And they have an album called Skylight, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of, like, the sound for me is a bit Ben Queller,
yeah.
vocal, and just the way it's recorded is it very much just captures a moment, like captures the band at that time in a room, and it's just a really, really strong record. It came out in 2018, and looking them up, they've got tons of material, lots of records, but have a listen to it. There's heaps. The whole album's really good. There's one song called Darkness on there that I really like, but completely new, out of nowhere. They're called Pine Grove.
Nice.
Wicked. Love a good record. Nice one. Good on you, George.
Thanks, Josh. Well, I was going to try and dig up my old People's Places Faces CD, but couldn't find it, unfortunately. And you couldn't find it at Atlantis
Just
Music in
stay in frame
Southport,
while you're there
unfortunately.
too,
So sorry, mate. My big head's normally in the frame, no matter where you go. So I thought, Brad said, tell us what you're listening to this week. So I thought the fairest way to do it, I could pick something real artesian and look how cool I am. But I just thought, I'll literally go to my turntable. Actually, a couple of good blokes bought me a turntable for my birthday a few years back. Second best present I've ever got from people that weren't my wife.
Well saved.
Yes, it's close. So I thought let's just see what's on the turntable, and it's a bit of I actually brought it.
Oh, nice.
Great albums deserve vinyl. It's actually a compilation,
Wow.
but you can't go like classic for a reason.
Jimmy Fallon.
There you go. There we go. So that's Changes by Bowie. That's a compilation between sort of 69 and the mid 70s.
Can you read some of the song titles?
We'll get to that in
please?
just a moment. But this has got all the classic Space Odyssey, Changes. I really like maybe some of his less known songs like John, I'm Only Dying. That's a tune. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but
No.
if you're into Bowie, this is a great or you're not into Bowie, but you would like to get into Bowie. Changes for a compilation, highly recommend, because it's got most of his well-known bangers, like prior to Dancing in the Streets, and
Yeah.
when it kind of went a little bit Sideways before he did Labyrinth, right? But it's got probably 4 or 5 songs you'll definitely know, and then probably 3 or 4 that you don't. They're actually absolute slappers. And then directly underneath that was, I said great albums deserve vinyl, so I also brought my copy of Redneck Shit by Willa Walker Jr. If you're not familiar with that, that's I cannot read any of the album track titles out for you, but great sounding album. As you know, I spent a little bit of my time. Cover? Yeah, that's independent record. This is his first album. I think he's up to about his 3rd now, but that's a bit of an inside joke that you guys can look up if you want to. But it is a great sounding album. It's recorded by Dan Cobb, who's actually a really well-known, accomplished country producer. And I don't know if he did it for a bet or whatever, but I'm glad he did because it sounds amazing. And when we're on the road, this is the tour van album. We tend to turn this up in regional cities.
Is that an old record or is it kind of newish?
It's newish. It's probably 6 years old, 7 years old. So Will is actually the alter ego of a comedian called Ben Hoffman who had a show called The Ben Show, which only went for 1 season and I think got cancelled, as people tend to get cancelled these days. But he had a really good song in there, which I can't tell you the name of.
I can't imagine why he gets cancelled.
It's a bit of a rip-off of Lagrange by ZZ Top about kicking ass and other stuff like that. And it just gets a good run when the kids aren't home and I'm folding the washing or cooking dinner or something, crank up a bit of Wheeler. So highly recommend it if you're over the age of 18 and like some country music and a laugh.
Very good.
Very good, Benny.
Man, you came with props.
Props.
Wow. Man, you'll have to come back.
I'm coming for your job, JK. I can't compete with that.
Good stuff. All right.
You are full on country these days, aren't you?
No, not really.
So,
I can't claim that.
Speaking of sponsors, we got Benny's wearing one of the sponsors' hats here, but I'm also wearing a hopeful sponsor hat here. So you might see this is Fields Brewing.
Ooh, Fields.
So these guys are a brewery that a good friend Amy Shark, she's just bought into the company, and they came to some shows when we were on tour, and they gave us a sample of their beers, and holy moly, they make some delicious beer.
What kind of beer was it?
The one that I was drinking was a session ale, so it's just a medium pacer coming off the short run, but holy moly, delicious medium pacer. That's what I'm looking for.
Are you putting it out there, BH?
So I'm putting it out there. Come on, Fields. Would you like to sponsor an episode or two? We'd love to have you on board. We love your beer. So please send us some beer and we'll
give them one more of those.
We'll give it to our tens of fans.
I can promise to not come back if that helps.
But yeah, Fields, great beer. We'd love to feature you on another episode. So
easier to say than Velko Popovici.
Yeah.
Actually, I did that pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah, Kurtzel, Kozel,
Passenger.
all of the above. Delicious beer, right?
You're probably starting to get a bit cozzled.
A little bit. He doesn't have to drive anywhere after this.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Cozzled.
The perks of having it at your own studio. You don't have to go anywhere afterwards. So, but yeah. So, are we going to stay true to what the jingle says? Are we going to, in the time it takes to drink 2 beers? Or
I think that is 2 beers. It's 2 standard drinks at least.
Well, you guys are still on your first beer, so
yeah.
I reckon I can do it.
Oh well. Well, I think that probably wraps it up then, doesn't it? Well, thanks for joining us. 7 episodes in. Thanks for coming along, Benny.
My pleasure. Anytime.
Absolute superstar. And thank you for joining us. Hopefully, we'll make another one of these. That doesn't take 5 months to get another one to you.
Thanks for supporting us. Look out for our new EP.
Green light.
Benny, you're a legend.
What a tune.
And send us any questions or you guys singing the jingle or anything. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks for joining us. See you next time.
And this is some waffles. We waffle on for just as long as it takes to drink 2 beers. Some waffles with city over sand.
Yeah, and
leave that in.